Do we think we can read the future? Okay, maybe not. But what we're going to look at today is a little bit of predicting what 2026 is going to bring to us in the way of our finances for our businesses so that we can be fully prepared for them. Happy Monday. It is Money Mondays here back at the Business of Apparel. Guys, this is the last podcast episode that we are going to be doing here in 2025. 2026 is literally just a few days away, and it is time for us to start thinking about what 2026 is going to bring our way. Let's bring this mic over here. Let's make sure we're all set up. I'm in my new setup. Hopefully it sounds okay. We've been working on getting this move kind of done. Some changes might be coming in 2026 with the way that things look, the way they sound, the way they feel here at the Business of Apparel on Money Mondays and on the Business of Apparel podcast. But for now, we are just making it happen. We are in a messy office. There's boxes and stuff everywhere. We're making it happen. We're here for you today. So let's talk a little bit about 2026. We've seen some of these trends starting to happen already in 2025, and most people are saying that there's going to be a continuation of what we're going to be seeing of 2025 into 2026. And so it's not easy for us to predict. I'll never say that, but there are some clues as to what 2026 is going to bring us, at least for the first half of the year. And so as business owners, it's really important for us to kind of be ready for it, start evaluating what that means for our particular businesses, and start putting plans in place, right? With 2026 right around the corner, there is no time to waste. So number one, let's talk about a few different things today. Number one, I want to talk about cash flow. I talk about cash flow a lot. Cash flow is going to continue to be tight for all of us, especially here in the apparel and the fashion industries. It's going to be hard to keep cash flowing. People are going to continue to be more discerning. Inflation is going to continue to be a little bit up, at least for the first part of the year. The Fed is maybe going to continue to bring rate changes, but we don't know. They haven't actually said whether they're going to be doing it or not. It might also happen a little bit more in the latter half of the year. So we might still see high inflation numbers in the first half of the year, which means people might continue to be tightening in on their own wallets, right? They're saving their pennies to buy groceries and necessities, not necessarily buying things to, make their closets look a little bit new. So we want to recognize that for our communities. We want to recognize that for our client bases and our customers. And a couple of things that we're going to need to do. Number one, if you have the opportunity to leverage interest rates and things that are happening right now in the stock market with your cash. Not all business owners can do this. Some of us still need very, very liquid accounts so that we can be very flexible. But if you have a little bit of overage or you have some extra profit, if you have the opportunity to invest it and make your money work for you more in 2026, that is going to be a really smart way to go. So if you have a CPA, if you have a financial advisor, I recommend that you start talking to them about what you can do with that cash to make sure that it's being maximized for you. The next thing I really want you to consider is that costs are probably going to remain high, at least again through the first half of the year. So if costs are going to remain high and you didn't address this in 2025, you didn't raise costs of your products, you didn't raise costs for your services, you didn't raise costs for your customers or clients, this might be the time where you need to really reevaluate that. And the new year turning over, especially for service-based people, service-based industries, service-based consultants and agents and those kinds of places, the new year can be a really great time to just say to all of your customers and clients, it's a new year. We've reevaluated all of our prices. We're going to be raising them just by a little bit this year. Maybe it's only $100 if you're like a monthly retainer client. Maybe it's 5% if it's a product-based thing. And so all of your products are going to get a 5% bump. This is the time for you to reevaluate that to make sure that you have healthy margins on your books and the profits that are coming into your company are also healthy. Again, if you don't have a way to calculate whether your margins are healthy or not, I invite you to come over to thebusinessofapparel.com/gift and get our free line planning worksheet where you can calculate out your margins based on all the other numbers that you already have inside your business. There's a very handy dandy how-to tab in that spreadsheet explaining how to fill everything out. We've also done some how-to tutorials on the podcast. So you can find some information. If you need information, just put comments below, ask questions. Happy to send you links, happy to send you more information. Okay. You need to be calculating out those margins though to know whether or not your profits are good. And you want your profits, now this is really ugly actually, I don't want your profits down here, but you want your profits to be at least in the 30s, minimally in the 30s. I remember a few years back I was doing a talk and someone had come to me after the talk and we were having a little conversation about her product that she was really excited to put out. And she had said that she had been calculating and really excited about a 25% margin. And so I sat with her and we crunched the numbers and we talked about all the time that she had spent on development, things that she had spent on hiring for marketing and for social media, and dollars that she had spent on many other things, building her website, getting all of that ready. And at the end of the day, that 25% was going to cost her money to actually get that product out into the world. And so if you're not seeing minimally a 30% margin, you're only hurting your business. You're basically giving away product for free, or worse, you're actually paying your customers to take that product off of your hands. And you don't want to be, that's not how business runs, right? That's just not how businesses work. You can't do that. You've put in the hours, you've mastered the fundamentals, and your brand is no longer a passion project. But somewhere along the way, the hustle that got you here started to feel like a trap. You're building a business, not just making clothes, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever crack the code to consistent, profitable growth. What if I told you that industry's top brands aren't just working harder, they're working smarter, with a clear blueprint for everything from line planning to streamlining their supply chain? This is the insider knowledge that's typically kept behind closed doors, but now it's accessible to you. Introducing The Board, an annual membership designed to give you that strategic advantage. Led by a team with over 70 years of combined experience, we provide the honest, real talk mentorship you need to move from busy to truly successful. We'll show you how to focus on the small, consistent actions that lead to massive progress, helping you build a legacy without the burnout. It's time to stop second guessing yourself and start building with purpose. Don't pay attention to the chaos. Pay attention to what actually matters. Join the board and unlock the proven systems that will transform your brand. Go to thebusinessofapparel.com to find the option that's right for you. I can't wait to see you in there. So ideally, you want your profit margins, if you're selling direct to consumer, to be up around that 65% number, because that pays for all of those things. It allows you to make a little bit of profit, get ready for your next inventory purchase, all kinds of good stuff. Okay. So you need to be reevaluating all of your cash flow and all of your costing to make sure that it's ready for these higher prices to continue going in 2026. Okay. Number 2 on the list is AI. It's not going anywhere, my friends. And if you are not using AI in some respects for your business, you're going to be starting to miss out, especially in this new year after a lot of people have been spending time mastering AI and figuring out how they can leverage it inside their businesses. Now, here at the Business of Apparel, I use Google Gemini. Gemini continues to get better and better. It helps me a lot just with brainstorming, with thinking, with, I've got to create a new landing page today on my website. What's some of the copy that you would suggest that's SEO optimized to bring in this ideal target customer? And then I'm not always necessarily copying and pasting, but it's giving me ideas so that as I go to write the copy or I go to build the landing page, I've got something to prompt me. I've got something that has gotten me started. I can change the wording around. I can change the format. I can put it in my own tone of voice, but it's helped me get there, right? I don't have to try to figure it out on my own. Not only that, but it's helped me SEO optimize. So now there's keywords and there's all kinds of great stuff on my website so people can find me better. AI for things like that, for brainstorming, for troubleshooting. I've thrown into AI this year something about like, this is my business plan. This is my target consumer. Now go, come at me. Like, come at me, bro. Tell me everything that is wrong with my business plan. What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? What do I need to change? And AI went hard at me. There were some things in there that I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, we really need to change that. And I've been doing this wrong. And I've been focusing on this, and it was the wrong way to be focusing. So there are some great ways that you can use AI to help you in those kinds of areas. And if you are not leveraging AI in those ways, at least you are really missing out because you're doing so much extra work. You are spending so much extra time doing these things where AI can like 10x your productivity if you would just learn how to prompt it properly. AI isn't going anywhere. This is something that we as a society are gonna have to get used to. Just like we got used to the internet and all kinds of, and got used to like handheld phones and smartphones. This is the next thing. And so if we are not figuring out how to use the technology that is in front of us, and we can't figure out how to use it on our websites, and we can't figure out how to use it to talk to our target customer better, and we can't use it to figure out how to plan social media better, then we're going to be missing out. And you're going to be behind the eight ball for everybody else who is learning to use AI. So AI in 2026 is number 2 on your list. If you haven't taken time to start learning it yet, you need to start digging in. And there are so many different ways. Just throwing something in there as a prompt, asking it for a little bit of help, you will get better at it. And you just have to keep asking. So if you're not getting the response that you want, or even if you get a response that you know is wrong, which can happen quite a bit with AI, all you have to do is keep prompting it. And it's ideal actually if you tell it that it's wrong. If you tell the AI, look, this isn't correct. You got this wrong. Let's try again. This wasn't what I asked for. Try again. Keep prompting it, because it will either eventually get there, or you might just need to start a new chat over and try again. But these are the kinds of things that so many of us are experimenting with, getting better at prompting, getting better at doing our work, getting faster at doing our work just by leveraging these new tools. Okay. And then something else that I really want you to be thinking about this year is reviewing your debt. So if there is, this kind of goes back to number 1, right? Like being prepared with your cash flow, being prepared with your pricing, knowing what your debt looks like and knowing what it might look like to get out of debt in 2026, because everything is changing so much in the financial landscape, right? So a couple things that are here that I kind of want to touch on. Number 1 being like hiring. There is still a lot of competition coming at brands for hiring the best talent in the industry. And so if you have a loan to maybe expand your team or to grow your team, I want you to have a plan for how that's being paid off, either on time or early. At least you're making like monthly minimum payments, right? But leveraging some of that money, leveraging some of that debt and calling it good debt, right? Like this is debt that's helping me get ahead for my business. Maybe this is good debt that's helping me get ahead with my finances. Maybe this is good debt that I'm using now to get something that I couldn't have otherwise gotten, but it's going to make a big change for me in my life. Debt doesn't have to be bad, but I do want you evaluating it at this point and understanding what your plan is. Now, this is just like everything else I talk about with finance, right? All you have to do is have a plan. You have to know what your goal is. So we're going to look 10, 5, 3, 1 years out into the distance. Are we looking at, today's December 29th. Are we looking at December 29th, 2026, trying to put a plan in place for what we want our gross revenue to have been in 2026, what our profit to have been in 2026, you name it. What do you want to pay yourself in 2026? And then what do you have to do for each month, for each week, for each day to get yourself there? What are the numbers? Do you need to sell 5 items a day at an average of $50 a piece? Do you need 200 people a day to come to your website? Do you need 2 more clients on the books? What are those things? Put that plan in place. So that is the same thing for your debt. I want you to be looking at how that gets paid off. I want you to be looking at how you can potentially pay things off early so you're not paying for a ton of interest. This also comes across in like supply chain. So while we're fighting for like the best team members on our teams, right? And maybe it's a good thing to leverage a little bit of debt, maybe a business loan to kind of get some great team members on your team. This also goes in the way of supply chain. Maybe you want to have the best manufacturers, but in order to do that, you need to hit a higher minimum order quantity. And if you can't do that with the cash that you have on hand, maybe leveraging a little bit of debt with a plan on how to pay it off over time is what you need. So these are some key things that I really want you to start looking at for 2026. Putting a plan in place for your cash flow, putting a plan in place for your costs and your pricing that you're going to put up on your website, putting a plan in place for your debt, and then thinking about how you can leverage AI. And when you put all of those things together, if you just get a little bit better at those things every day, if you put a plan in place and you follow it in 2026, this could be a really, really great year for you. Happy New Year. I am so excited for New Year. I always love New Year. I love it when a New Year turns over. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I will see you on Thursday in the podcast. But before then, just again, Happy New Year, Happy New Year's Eve. I hope you're going out, you're going to celebrate and do something fun. I will see you, cheesy as it is, in 2026. I'll see you next year. Have a great week. Have a great Monday. Talk soon.